Greetings, fellow fiends, and thanks for dropping by the Horror Zone. I just thought I'd do a little kind of impromptu horror haul video. I haven't done a horror haul video here on the Horror Zone channel for eons, man. I used to do quite a few of these where I would just showcase a bunch of stuff I've picked up over the last few weeks or since the last horror haul. And I just haven't been buying stuff like I used to this year, but in the last couple of weeks I've gotten a couple things that I thought I'd kind of showcase. I've already worn one of the things in one of my recent videos, but I thought I'd just showcase it and talk about it, and I'm glad everyone's here, so thanks for dropping by and stay tuned for the showcase. The first thing I'm going to showcase is this shirt that you can see hanging behind me. I wore it in the last video I did, but this is a Pet Sematary shirt, the original Pet Sematary. This is from the Pet Sematary collection on Fright Rags. I've been wanting to get this shirt. This was the second wave of Pet Sematary shirts that were released. I initially just got the baseball tee with the image of Church and Judd and Lewis on it. I love the original Pet Sematary poster. I have it. You can kind of see it right there. But I love that image of Pascal and Church in the cemetery right there in the Pet Cemetery. So yeah, just wanted to pick this up. So I'll hang it back up here for right now. But yeah, something real quick, showcase. Love Fright Rags, and I absolutely love that shirt. Next thing I want to showcase is some Blu-rays and DVDs that I've picked up. Went to Rasputin's last week and picked up a couple movies. Two of which I had never seen before, another one I haven't seen in years. First one I want to showcase is Slumber Party Massacre. This is part of the Massacre collection. They did have Slumber Party Massacre 3, but they didn't have 2. I eventually want to get both. And I'm ashamed to say this is the first time I watched it. I watched it Saturday night, my wife and I, and had an absolute blast. This movie is fucking fantastic. Very 80s campiness, scary in certain spots. I really thought that the killer in this was creepy and well done, exaggerated over the top, but you know, you have some terrific scream queens in this, especially Brink Stevens, who has a small part in this. Was great to see her. I've always had a little crush on her. And yeah, I had a blast, and I didn't realize that a woman directed this, and I think that's great. I love to find horror movies where women have directed them, and I think every film in this franchise, the Slumber Party Massacre franchise, was directed by a woman. Correct me if I'm wrong. Next one I picked up was directed by David Hackle, who did, he worked on the Saw franchise. He most notably directed Saw 5, which a lot of people didn't like, but I always thought he was a pretty good director. And this is called Into the Grizzly Maze. And movies like The Edge and The Gray, movies where you're kind of out in the elements and you have something coming after you, has always interested me. And I wanted to pick this up. I thought it had a good cast. I love Thomas Jane, one of my favorite actors. I think he's completely underrated. James Marsden is cool. Also like Billy Bob Thornton in certain things. Movie was okay. I was a little disappointed in it. I might need to just give it another watch because I watched it the same night I watched Slumber Party Massacre, and was kind of tired at the point when I was watching this one. The narrative was a little, it wasn't as good as it could have been in my opinion, but you know, still enjoyed watching it. Don't regret picking it up. Got it for like $5, so yeah, can't regret that. Next one I want to showcase is a movie I have not watched in a long time, and I remember loving it the first time I saw it, and this is going back to the 90s. Had John Goodman in it. It also has Jeff Daniels. Huge fan of both of those actors, and it's Arachnophobia. My wife is terrified of spiders, so we did not watch this one yet. So I'm anxious to rewatch this one. Always enjoyed this film. You know, mixes the humor and the horror really well. So anxious to rewatch this one after so many years, and got this for like a brand new movie for $5. It wasn't previously viewed. So yeah, happy to pick that one up. The last movie I'm going to showcase is one I just picked up recently, and that is the remake of Pet Sematary. Now, I gave this movie a good review. I know there's a lot of purists of the original 1989 film that didn't care for it. My friends over at Forever Midnight, the podcast, it completely hated it and trashed it. I still stand by what I said about it. I enjoyed this film, and I think the filmmakers and the creators behind it really went into this with a passion, with wanting to do something different with the material. And I think that some of the choices they made, not all of them successful, were ballsy, and I think it's great that they took risks with it and didn't make a carbon copy of the original. I have tremendous more respect for the people that made this film. There's a terrific documentary. It's broken down into 5 chapters, which I thought was interesting. Really shows the care that went into this film, not only from casting to set decoration, it's amazing, and it actually gave me a whole new appreciation for some of the things that are in this film that maybe I didn't care for in my initial review. I think they did a good job. This is something this movie was talked about for about a decade before it actually came to be, and I'm glad that it turned out as good as it did, because I was really worried about it, and it was one of the remakes that I was completely against, even from the early campaign. I do think they showed way too much in those trailers, but that is not the filmmaker's fault, that is the studio. So yeah, Pet Sematary, really loved that film. Next thing I want to showcase is something a little bit different. This is something that I got on Entertainment Earth. I just got it a few days ago, and it is a Friday the 13th Jason watch. Here's the box that it came in. I actually already wore it, but I put it back in the box so people can check it out, and I'll show it up close. But yeah, it's a nice little watch. I got it for, I think it was $18. I've seen it, it does sell at GameStop locations for a little bit cheaper, but I got it through Entertainment Earth. I pre-ordered it when it was first announced. And it has a really cool band. It looks like blood. It's kind of like a nylon band. The watch case is very nice. It has Jason's mask on the side, as you can see right there. And it says, like, you know, you're all doomed and a young boy drowned. So it's got a lot of little quotes that make up his mask from the famous horror film franchise. A couple of books I've picked up as well. One I'm reading actively now, another one I'm going to start after I finish this book, and Stephen King's It, which I'm trying to finish before It Chapter 2 comes out. And I know 2 years ago I was talking about finishing it then, but I didn't. But I bought William Peter Blatty's The Exorcist. I've always wanted to read this book, and I can't wait to do so. Fantastic movie. That first Exorcist is still disturbing to watch, and I've only seen it a handful of times. The next book that I got, this is one that I found out on this series on YouTube called Collection Complete, and I really am ashamed of myself for not realizing that that there was a woman that designed one of the Universal monsters, and her name was Millicent Patrick, and she designed the Gill Man from The Creature from the Black Lagoon. Mallory O'Meara wrote this book called The Lady from the Black Lagoon. I'm already reading it. Just a few chapters into it. This woman designed one of the greatest monsters in cinema history, and didn't get the recognition she deserves for it. So I'm always about, you know, about wrongs being righted. So this book really called to me, and it was mentioned by a young woman. I can't remember her name. I'll put it down below, but she had a segment on Collection Completed, and she's a huge Creature from the Black Lagoon fan, and she talked about this book, and I had to pick it up, and I found it, and I was so happy to find it. So yeah, Lady from the Black Lagoon, can't wait to finish reading this, and I plan to do a review on this channel, so I hope everyone look forward to that. Final thing I'm going to show is another t-shirt. I really hate going to Walmart, even though this is a Walmart shirt, and this is going to be a Walmart shirt that I'm showing. Every once in a while I'll find something. But I found this Chucky shirt right there, and I thought this was pretty cool. And I just like it. Says, there comes a time, put away childhood things, but some things won't stay put. Look who's stalking. It shows Chucky. I just thought this was really cool. So yeah, really happy with this shirt. So that's going to be it. Just showcasing some stuff here in the room. I hope everyone's doing well. Thanks so much for supporting the channel. Thanks so much for the feedback on my recent videos. And please stay tuned for some more great stuff that I have coming up in the next few weeks. I have some really cool stuff I'm planning, and I'm very excited about it and happy to be back doing the Horror Zone content. So take it easy. Hope everyone has a great day. Stay scared as always. Peace. I have a Patreon page. If everybody wants to help support me, the link is down below. And if you do help support me, Dracula here will get more treats, and Dracula really loves his treats. So any support that you can give me would be very, very much appreciated. Right, Drac?